What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, May 7th, 2019. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes 30 Under 30 winner, a.k.a. the second best baby blues in San Francisco, a.k.a. one half of Check to Check. I'm already sure. Wait,
we gotta get better. I don't know. What are we doing?
It's a good.
I hate it.
Well, that'd be the check mark.
Check, so then I gotta do it
do we
backwards.
always do our right hands? Is that the
And
deal?
then you make a W for Wario.
Shut up, Barry. It's not about you. It's at Tim
Check to
Geddes.
check, baby. What's up? Let's most. How
Tim,
you doing, Greg?
I'm great. Feeling really good today.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? I think yesterday I was still doped up on the cold meds.
Mm-hmm.
Last night I went to bed. I'm like, you know what? I don't think I need the NyQuil. I'm not going to do it. Woke up this morning, Jen not in the bed. She was asleep on the couch. She's like, you're snoring so bad because you're so congested. So I will continue to take it. But right now I'm feeling great because I'm still out here free. And I have information for you. If you, ladies and gentlemen, are anything like me, you had the Coasters song Charlie Brown in your head this morning.
Oh, God.
He's a clown. That Charlie Brown. You know what I'm talking about. 1958 song. And you might have said then, as you would, like I did, wait a second. How are they singing this song about Charlie Brown? Did they pay licensing rights to Peanuts?
way.
Did they go do this? But then you might say, wait. Was this song out before Peanuts? Was it around Peanuts? Where does this go? Because the
Charlie Brown named after the song?
Coasters released this song in January 1959, right? It was recorded December 11th, 1958. Of course, Peanuts was already around by then. Of course, Coasters, this is a follow-up to Yakety Yak, another great song.
Yeah. We'll talk back.
But I went to the Wikipedia here, right? And I finally got to the bottom of it. The song is not a reference to the Peanuts character of the same name. The strip had debuted less than a decade prior and had not reached its peak of popularity yet. Adding to the confusion is the line where, why is everybody always picking on me? Which resembles the comic strip Charlie Brown's generally pessimistic attitude.
Yeah,
but it's not about him.
Bullshit.
Even the Coasters ripped him off.
They say that to get away.
You think the guys who wrote Yakety Yak couldn't come up with this?
Don't talk back to him.
Yeah,
we
I
work
do
with Nick
believe that.
Scarpino.
Yeah,
I'm
I
obsessed
do.
with Portillo's, and then now Nick Scarpino works at Portillo's. You're telling me the universe is so broad you don't think that the Coasters could come up with the name Charlie Brown?
always
One of them
goes
was
back to
probably
Tatooine.
a Sunday comic strips fan, you know?
Sure, maybe. I think it's weird that the Schultz guy died on the day the final Peanuts comic came out. That's fucked up.
It is.
That'd be like me being like, hey, you know what? The final Kinda Funny video is coming out this day, and then I fucking die that day.
Well, you don't even die, you just kill us all.
That one, no, people would see that coming.
Yeah.
That one, people would
fair.
like, you know what? We ignored the warning signs.
I had a different song stuck in my head, Greg.
What was it?
The 2007 classic Chicken Noodle Soup. Do you
I don't
remember
know this one, no.
Chicken Noodle Soup. Chicken Noodle Soup.
Is this like a
Chicken
kid song?
Noodle
Is this
Soup
something
with
you
the soda
learn?
on the side? Let it rain.
This is
and clear
definitely
it
a
out.
kid song.
And let it rain and clear it out. And let's get it. It's not a kid song. Google that shit.
I believe you. It's just like, that sounds like every kid song I ever did.
It was one of those songs that
Kentucky
started,
Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut. That fucking song.
But
everybody
it
sang
started
on
with
school
like
grounds.
those DJ shout outs, let's get it. It's your boy.
Oh, okay.
From New York.
Yeah. All right, cool. Enough about that. This is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Today we'll be talking about the Riot Walkout, the claptrap story that refuses to die, and EA access coming to PlayStation 4. Of course, Kinda Funny Games Daily is your one-stop shop for all the video game news of the day. You can watch us record. I screwed it up. I still don't have a perfected where to put the thing.
I caught it where you screwed it up, and you were almost like gonna pick it back up,
but I
and then
used
you thought
to
about
hint.
it.
This is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show. Patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames. You can give us your questions, your comments, your bad PS. No, it's gone. We keep forgetting it's gone. Everything else under the video game sun. Then tune in to watch us record it live. Twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. If you're watching live, you have a special job. Go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Tell us what we screw up as we screw it up, so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, roosterteeth.com, and listening on podcast services around the globe. Housekeeping for you today. We're doing a town hall meeting, whatever fucking call update thing. Tomorrow after KFAF, we're going to stream on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames about 12:30. Talk to you about things that are happening. So we had a whole bunch of announcements in January. We want to touch base on them. Where we're at, what's happening, where we're going next, all that jazz and stuff like that. So tomorrow after KFAF, twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. If you can't join us live, no big deal. It'll be up on thekindafunny.com, and we'll be tweeting about it and all that jazz. You can go to the Reddit. I'm sure over on Discord somebody will be talking about it. You know, Facebook. Somebody will post a meme.
And to be clear, this is not a "this changes everything" type.
Oh no,
of
this is literally just a hey, here's a signpost. Where are we at with all the things we said? Where are all the shows we were talking about?
You want me to post memes?
Yeah, can you make some?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Thank you to our Patreon producers today, Tom Bach, Blackjack, and Mohammed. Today, we're brought to you by Hims and 23andMe, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 3 items on the Roper Report, but I assure you, they are all meaty.
Baker's dozen.
Sorry about that, Bear. I don't mean
good.
to. Hey, you feeling good, Barrett? You were sick yesterday.
When I woke at the end of the day yesterday, Kevin texted me. He was like, "Hey, what are the chances of you coming in tomorrow?" I was like, "I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel like I can come in." And when I woke up this morning, I definitely felt that same. Like I was at like 85%. And then the commute over here definitely brought me down already to like a 75%.
Oh wow! Okay.
So
We
I'm
just
like,
need you at a 69 or above. There.
I'm waving in and out.
Do
I'm
you
also
blame me for you getting sick?
No, I blame
you.
several different circumstances.
Because you have it
for
way
getting-
worse than I do.
I was really bad yesterday. I'm not as bad, nearly as bad.
Well, I
as
meant yes, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. I was at like a third, like a 20 to 15%
No,
yesterday.
no, I don't like that.
So yeah, I'm also hopped up on some very strong drugs right now, and it's fun.
Number 1. We're starting with the Riot Walkout. This, of course, was breaking, I think, while we were going off the air yesterday, or maybe into the afternoon, somewhere around there. But anyway, Cecilia and Nathan Grayson over at Kotaku have this report. Over 150 discontented Riot Games employees walked out of the League of Legends publisher's office in Los Angeles today in protest of the company's stance on forced arbitration. Standing in a parking lot on Riot's campus, employees held picket signs and gave impassioned speeches. Quote, "We're asking that forced arbitration be ended for all past, current, and future Riot employees, including contractors and in current litigation," said Jocelyn Monahan, a social listening strategist at Riot, in an interview with Kotaku. Standing in front of a sign reading Rioters Unplugged, a play on Riot's internal Riot Unplugged meetings, Monahan would later tell her assembled colleagues through a megaphone, quote, "Asking to feel safe does not make you entitled," end quote. Monahan had one major point she hoped to get across to her colleagues, even those who chose to stay at their desks and continue working. Quote, "We are what makes Riot great." All right, I'm drinking the water. Too much coffee as usual. We are what makes Riot great. I want us to feel solidarity and connection with each other. I want us to feel connected. I want us to feel like our voices are heard and heard in a way that matters. Colleagues took turns speaking through the megaphone, with several admitting that they were scared to participate and be labeled anti-Riot. Said one, quote, "I was worried. I was like, what if I go and nobody shows up? I'm a little less worried about that now," end quote. Others are showing their support with the hashtag Riot Walkout hashtag, which hundreds have been using while tweeting. Today's protest appears to be the first labor-related walkout for a large game studio like Riot. The company's management is allowing its employees to participate and has urged managers to be accommodating and understanding. In an email to Kotaku this morning, a Riot representative added, quote, "We respect rioters who choose to walk out today and will not tolerate retaliation of any kind as a result of participating or not," end quote. Their article goes on and is in depth and has way more quotes, and I urge you to go to Kotaku to read it. However, in an update at the end, which again I'm just pulling a snippet from, not the entire thing, toward the end of the walkout, Monahan made an announcement saying that if Riot management doesn't make any sort of commitment on forced arbitration by May 16th, the date of the next Riot Unplugged meeting, she and others involved with the walkout will take further action. Another walkout organizer, Riot writer Indu Reddy, was not able to delve into specifics of what it will mean, but she told Kotaku that, quote, "We do have plans and we do have days we're planning and we do have commitments that we have responses for," end quote. Tim, what's your take?
I think it's pretty bizarre. The phrasing there of the management is allowing them to do this, because this always goes back to the problem of a company is not one person, it's not 10 people, it's not 20 people, it is a bunch of different people with a bunch of different viewpoints.
Yeah.
So if it is the good managers, the good management that's like letting them do this, it sends a weird message of them doing it. Almost makes it feel like it's like, all right, yeah, just go, just do your thing. It feels like it lessens the kind of strike of it.
You want them to be mad at it? You want them to say, "Don't do it."
No, well, it's not so much that, but like, don't say like, "Oh, it's cool, you can do it." We're not like, if you set aside time for them to do it, I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose of what they're doing, which is walking out on the work being done.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Having said that, I think that that's the right thing to do if this is the management's way of protesting, right? Like letting them do that. But the problem is there's a lot of management, and when it is the same management that is supposed to fix this problem is letting them do this, it's a weird mixed message.
The company's management is allowing employees to participate and has urged managers to be accommodating and understanding. Yeah, it's coming from top down. Again, this is Riot at a top level trying to figure out how the fuck to get out of this as easily as possible. And I think what's important about the Monahan quote here at the end, right, that of like, if they don't do it by May 16th, more is going to happen. That's when you start getting into management's not going to be cool with it. Right now, the hope was let them talk. They've said their piece. Now we can move on, right? Or move on or not have to worry about this problem. When clearly they're going to have to worry about this problem.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I'm saying is like I don't like that kind of feels like let them scream and yell and tire themselves out.
Yeah.
And then let's just go back to work as normal.
Sure.
It's like that's not a solution, and like that honestly is not supportive. It's a fake support. It feels like, to just kind of placate the problem and just be like, all right, we'll just get over this bump and then just like back to normal
Here's
shit.
what the long and short of it is. And I understand, I guess I don't actually. I guess you're just trying to be whatever, and it's complicated. We've talked about this, obviously, the litigation over legal part of it. The fact that Riot has said that after any current court cases are done, they'll remove mandatory arbitration from contracts and let blah, blah, blah. They're going to do away with this. The rioters who walked out today and the people who are like, this is bullshit, are going to win. I think deservedly so.
Yeah.
I think that you put in this forced arbitration thing. That was a bad fucking move. You hope it never needs to get used. Now you've had something that's blown up so publicly, gone so badly for your company. Now you're hiring in all these different diversity people. You're trying to make it a better place. The article talks about the ground that has been gained in the last 6 months to a year, right, since all this started happening. Awesome. This is the last vestige of a Riot that I don't think Riot wants to be. That the people are there don't want them to be. So guess what? You're going to pull this. You're going to go in and figure it out. I know it's complicated. I know it's going to be expensive. I don't know how that works for legal cases of, well, we're already down the road of forced arbitration, but now we need to, like, there's a lot of moving parts to it. You're going to end up doing it because it's the right thing to do, and it's going to be the better look for your company. More importantly, it's the right thing to do, but I think more importantly, it's also the right look for your company. In the same way here, the managers are sitting there going, all right, cool. Hey, everybody can leave. Everybody can go say their piece. We're not going to stand in your way. Nobody get mad at them. That's you. You know what the right thing to do in this is. You know also what the better public relations move in this. You're going to do this eventually. Yeah. So just do it now.
Yeah.
Why'd you even let it get to this point?
Absolutely.
There was rumors of the walkout, 2 weeks ago? And that's what spurred last week's decision to be like, hey, guess what? We are removing mandatory arbitration from future contracts. No.
Yeah.
You know the right thing. Do the right thing. I understand it's going to suck, but is this more what you want? Do you want to see Riot continue to come up in these articles about sexual harassment and bro culture and toxic workplaces? And no, you don't.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Absolutely.
Fucking just fix it.
Yeah.
It's complicated. It's hard. Just do it.
Yeah. That's the thing is like, it is not as simple as saying just fix it, but it doesn't matter. Figure it out. Like you fuck things up this bad that it's on your hands now. Like you gotta figure it out because it's not going to go away, and just kind of pausing it is not fixing anything. Yeah. Like it's not even a Band-Aid. In fact, it's the opposite of a Band-Aid. I feel like allowing this to happen is just more focus and more eyes on the problem at hand.
Exactly.
If you just came out and been like, all the things you're asking for that we know that you're asking for, we're giving you them all.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the thing, right? Is again, it's not, you said it's not as simple as just fixing, right? It is as simple as saying, we understand right and wrong. We understand where we went wrong. We're going to fix it. It won't be easy. But we understand clearly that that's what it's supposed to be. That's why we're pulling it from the future, but we can't do it now, we say. When in fact you can, it's going to be complicated and expensive.
Yeah.
But guess what? You're fucking legal agents. I think you have the money.
Yeah.
And I think you just want to get out of this and make a better place for all your people.
Yeah. It is interesting it being the first major protest in a big video game developer.
Yeah.
Because like that sounds crazy to me. Like I would have felt like we've seen it a bunch of times before, but I guess not. Like I can't think of any.
The closest I can think, it's not even developer, right? Is I remember when the SAG-AFTRA stuff was happening and the voice actors went to the picket line outside of I want to say EA and a couple other big places that were doing it, but that's not this, right? You're not talking about a walkout. But again, it is crazy that it's taken this long to happen, but also developers have grown so much over the years, right? Think about like really what it is, right? Like I remember times at IGN when we not the one that everybody would think of right now when we didn't work there, when they actually did do a walkout, right? But I remember when we would have like, all right, we're all stopping working, we're fixing this problem. Like something's happening. You need to listen to us managers, you know what I mean? And I'm sure that happens at video game developers over and over again, but like when it's a smaller team, when it was a different world and you weren't so connected with social media, would you even consider that a walkout? Like I don't know if it, I know for some people in the industry, they want to consider it buzzwords or whatever. Like, we are, if not there, really are approaching the boiling point on unions and crunch and sexual harassment and like needing to build a better workspace for the people who make the video games. And I know we see that, it feels like every day with these little stories, but eventually like you get like, we're starting to see major moves, right, where that happens. And if these people, the riot workers get what they want out of this, right, then it does become even more of an argument of collective bargaining and unions, and then any other developer that is sitting there, right? Like it didn't make the Roper report today just because it's kind of like I thought if anything like a bunch of empty words, we'll see what it does, but like the reports about how bad crunch was for Mortal Kombat 11 and Mortal Kombat for the last couple of years at NetherRealm got a statement from NetherRealm being like, we're looking into this and we're going to fix the studio. Like, change is happening. Absolutely. And it is happening because of reporting like Kotaku, because of Jason, because of Cecilia, because of people who are going, Gita, people who are going out there, right, and doing really, really comprehensive, Colin Campbell at Polygon with his Fortnite stuff he just did, or Epic. Like, people are, why do we need to hear these stories? You need to hear these stories because then you actually start to see change. And whether the change just be like, figure Riot, for all intents and purposes, at least from what we hear on the inside, right, sucked, right? And then once it got aired out in public, changes started to really happen. And granted, maybe they were moving already in the background, things were already starting to change. They really got hustling here. Yeah. And now people are holding them and making them be honest, right? We'll see what happens. Dapper Stephen with a PH writes into patreon.com/kindafunnygames and says, yesterday, Riot Games held a walkout where more than 150 employees walked out to protest the forced arbitration clauses. This is the first major walkout of a bigger studio, and one article I was reading was talking about how this symbolizes a lot more than just a single arbitration issue, and that this is a major step on the path for better working conditions for all game developers. Over the past years, we've heard more and more about crunch, 100-hour work week, sexual harassment, misconduct, along with many other things that make for a hostile workplace environment. And it seems like nothing gets done about it after the article goes out. How come, after one trailer of a Sonic movie, we can change the internet and force the director to say it will be changed? And after the release of Star Wars Battlefront with bad microtransactions, we charge to the internet and force Disney to make EA change it. Why haven't we been able to use that same internet force to change how devs are treated after hearing about how so many employees are affected by these type of issues in the games industry? I want to help rally and make sure I support devs, but how do I get others to help too? And most importantly, how do I do it correctly? I think the biggest thing, Stephen, is what we just talked about, where changes are happening, things are going on, you are seeing this all move, and that is part of the fact of, and I don't mean to, this always sounds shitty. I don't mean it this way. The reason you're getting more and more of this reporting on it is because it's the sites, the .coms or whoever, are seeing it connect with readers and the industry. And I don't mean that in the filthy clickbaity way. It's
people are interested. People understand it. I think that's what it is. It's like for the last couple of years, because of social media, things are being discussed that never have been before. They've always been behind closed doors, or at industry parties, there'd be the buzz of people talking to each other and like within cliques in the industry. Now those conversations are being had in front of people,
right?
And they can understand that there is problems. That before everything was just cool and hey, we're just making video games and they're fun. When it's like no, there's real people with real issues going on behind the scenes.
It's a real job,
and people they care, they want to see it better. So I think that's kind of what's happening here. And it's like, things need to crawl before they can walk, before they can run. And I feel like right now we are in the crawling stage, but at least there's motion. Like at least like we are going in a direction.
I feel like I think we're about to stand up. Like I feel like in the analogy, right? I feel like we've been crawling for a while, where you heard about crunches and you heard about layoffs, and it was kind of a thing like, oh, that sucks, but that's the industry. Whereas I feel like really in the last 2 years, year and a half, it has become, wait, does it have to be that way? Why is it that way? No, figure this out, work better, take care of people, yada yada. And we're starting to see it tumble down. To Steven's examples of like Sonic and microtransactions, those are, we have a problem. What's the solution? As video game fans, right? Even right, like. We hate the design of Sonic, we'll redesign Sonic. We hate the way you do microtransactions, we'll remove microtransactions, right? This one is harder. We hate that our developers aren't treated right. Well, we'll have mental health counseling, and we'll do I don't feel like for every studio, every situation, every company, every state, every country, there's a different tweak to it. And sure, it boils down to don't make them work 100 fucking work hours every week, but that's not even the problem necessarily, right? Like the Riot problem is the fact that the people at the top didn't see the problem with being a bunch of fucking chauvinists and assholes and really, you know, just fucking making people feel like dirt and that they didn't matter because of their sexuality. That's a different thing, or gender, I guess. But that's the thing is like, I guess the thing is treat people better, but that's so broad. And so then when it does get to us, it is that, what do you do? And I think it is, you speak out, right? You use your voice, whether it is on Twitter to be like, use the hashtag I support these people, whether it's us with a podcast to be like, no, this is a problem for us to keep bringing up these stories and talk about these issues and raise them and promote the good work the people of Kotaku and Polygon and Waypoint, all these different sites are doing to actually get out there and prove like, hey, no, there is an issue here and hey, we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's got to be.
Yeah,
but
I definitely think all three of these examples are like very different from each other.
Yeah.
Like I think the Sonic thing, I find it really interesting that people talk about the Sonic thing as if the internet forced them to change it. I don't see that as what happened at all. If anything, I feel like it was the director saw this, was like, I don't like this happening, and like, cool. Like I kind of agree with you or whatever. We don't know the full story of that, but I don't think that it was a case of people being like, fuck this, I'm not gonna go to this movie
the
because
internet
of how
was
he
making
looks.
fun of the Sonic look when the legs were leaked, you know,
Yeah.
like the whole like the internet making that happen, I don't believe.
That's the thing is, yeah, I just don't believe that there was power there. It's just the director looked at that and was just like, hey, this is a change that we can make, and it's like, fine. And whatever repercussions that has, we'll have to see and see whatever happens there, right? But the Star Wars Battlefront situation is like, that is a huge thing where it's like it's a systemic problem, excuse me, where the microtransactions in that game, if they got away with that without people being vocal, every single game going forward from EA would have that, right?
Sure.
And so it's like them being vocal about that. It's like them fixing it there that might be an easy fix, but the harder fix is them having to go back to the drawing board for so many games going forward. And that's why we see for the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order coming out and then being like, no microtransactions, right? And like standing by that. And it's like, that is a result of the outrage of the internet from Battlefront.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. And this is what we always talk about, right? It's the way capitalism, the way the industry works, and the way the marketplace works is vote with your dollar and your wallet, right? So when we did see that and we saw a huge splashback and you saw people not using them, you saw people not buying the game, you see people outraged about it, that leads the company to then think back on their policies.
Absolutely.
Whereas
And
if people would have just bitched about it and then used the microtransactions, nobody would have cared.
That is the difference between Sonic and Star Wars there, where Star Wars was seeing people weren't using it to the extent that they wanted them to make money. If they were making money, they wouldn't have fucking changed it.
Sure.
Right? Like,
Sure.
I truly believe that.
Yeah.
The Sonic thing, they're not losing money over Sonic's design. The people that were saying they're not going to watch it weren't going to watch it anyway. And them changing the design is going to sell more tickets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then you take it to the real problem at hand here of what we're talking about with the Riot situation is it's not just one problem to be solved. There's so many different problems with what you're talking about, whether it's the unionization or whether it's mental health care or whether it's
Sexual harassment.
salary and sexual harassment. Like, these are all different things. It's not just the one tweak that's going to fix the future.
Yeah.
It's a lot of different conversations, a lot of
It's
different
nuanced
questions.
conversations.
Exactly. Like, there's a lot of situations where there isn't a clear right and wrong. There might be a right and wrong, but it's not evident just looking at it. Whereas like the Battlefront thing, it's like, all right, cool. You know, like this is gross for what you guys are doing in terms of being predatory with money, right? But I don't know. And how to help and do it correctly, I think it is just to like try your best to stay informed and like
Keep having the conversation. Yeah. I mean, it's clearly working. It's being heard. And the fact that, and I think that when this is all said and done, if Riot does the right thing here, backs off the forced arbitration, right? This is a speed bump and not as crazy as the stories were that came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is this path to redemption for a company, and they can look back in 2 years and be like, yep, we were in a bad place, but this is how we got out of it, and this is how you, other publishers, other developers can figure out how to get out of here too.
Absolutely.
Number 2, let's give yet another update on the Claptrap Gearbox drama.
This is insane.
Of course, yesterday we talked on Kind of Funny Games Daily about the whole Claptrap it was David Eddings, right? He had been Claptrap forever. He's no longer Claptrap. Randy and him were going at each other on Twitter. Well, Randy went at him, and then David said some stuff, and then it was like, what's going on? And then it was blah, blah. David went to Twitter last night and put up a multi-post thing that I'm going to read in full here, bringing more clarity, at least, or his side of the story, I should say, to the situation. David Eddings tweeted last night, I was fine moving on after Gearbox, but when my former boss starts mouthing off about various aspects of my employment, including, quote, how highly compensated I was and how generous he is, I feel obligated to correct the record. I had a lot of mixed feelings when asked to reprise the role of Claptrap late last year, and eventually realized I was willing to put differences aside and do something cool for Borderlands fans with my friends at Gearbox. I ultimately offered to do it for free in exchange for past royalties owed, plus an apology for something I've never spoken about publicly until now. Randy physically assaulted me in the lobby of the Marriott Marquis at GDC 2017. Personally, I think Randy's been on a tilt the last few years. He's not the victim he portrays himself to be. I even blocked him a couple of years ago for stalking me on social media. Enough is enough. It's nice not feeling the need to spot any sleight of hand these days, or wonder if the card was chosen or forced. I'm happy to be free from the half-truths and full-on deceptions, and thankful to no longer hear people referred to as muggles like a con man refers to a mark. As an aside, seems a bit conspicuous that he chimed in on my salary but didn't mention anything about the $12 million of revenue he siphoned away from the employee royalty pool. FYI, Gearbox employees, GBX is what he writes, employees, are asked to take lower salaries with the promise of royalty shares. 2K says they won't give a statement regarding an ongoing lawsuit, but if the allegation is false, then it sure seems a lot easier to just deny it since that's the only reason mentioned. The whole thing stinks. So again, you caught up yesterday, right? With Games Daily, we were talking about this, where it was that, why wasn't David Eddings back? Randy was like, well, we offered him double, what a salary was. He didn't want to do it. He's bitter and disgruntled, which was enough that made the news rounds to then bring David out, coming out swinging on what's going on. And it goes straight back to what I was talking about yesterday. Of like, yesterday's story literally was like, I hemmed and hawed of like, it's clearly two former friends, two former colleagues bickering in public now. What do we do? Like, is this news anymore? And yesterday I thought the news value to it, right, was, hey, we haven't talked on the show yet that Claptrap is not the voice of Claptrap that it has been outside of Borderlands VR, which I guess was the first time they'd used the new guy. Mm-hmm. So that was there. That was the news. That was established, right? And then now it's like, okay, cool. We jump into this, and it's like, it's continuing. And if I could have ever gotten out in front of it and just done the story as Claptrap's a different voice, that's the news done. I don't know how much of this I'd be talking about in Games Daily. You understand what I mean? Yeah. Because now we are very clearly into, here are two people who feel the other has wronged them, and they're arguing on the internet. And so now you sit here and you're like, what the fuck's Randy going to tweet today?
I mean, dude, the Randy Pitchford situation, like, somebody needs to step in and just be like, hey, man, like, this, you need to stop. It's unprofessional as hell. It's just simply not okay for somebody that high in a position that's that public facing, representing a company in the way that, given the last story we just read, and like talking about like steps towards a better future, right? It's like, he is a problem. Like, that's not a question. It's like, there is an issue going on with the things that he's saying, the way that he's acting, the stories that are coming out, that keep coming out, the $12 million thing. I remember on this show last year, we were talking about all that stuff. And it's just like, at what point is someone just gonna be like, no?
Can I bring in Kristina?
Yes.
Kristina writes into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, what's good, KFGD crew? The recent articles concerning Randy Pitchford have made me wonder what professionalism is like in the newer industries, parentheses, i.e. tech, video games, social media, etc., end parentheses. As someone who works in the medical field, my understanding of professionalism might be a bit antiquated. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. Parentheses, TLDR, has working in an old-fashioned industry turned this 20-something into a bitter 50-year-old? Please help. I feel so old. Much love. I can't wait to see you guys at RTX in a few months, Kristina. You are not antiquated, Kristina.
No.
You are dealing with what professionalism is in 2019. And you do a great job, Tim, of bringing up the Riot thing we just dealt with, and now the Randy thing. And I don't mean to sound like an old fogey myself, because that's Nick's job, but Randy and Gearbox, I guess, but we'll talk Randy in the situation, right? In the same way I talked about with the microtransactions kerfluffle, right? Was like, well, no, we're doing Borderlands 3 Borderlands 3 cosmetics are gonna be like Borderlands 2 cosmetics, not microtransactions, which is like, well, no, they're all microtransactions. You use antiquated, Kristina. I feel Randy is part of the antiquated video game industry that I started with. that I started with in 2007 when you'd go out and you would see, and I'm not talking about Randy Pitchford, I'm talking about other heads of development studios, wasted, partying, screaming at each other, this, that, like a more buck wild video game industry that I think has grown up.
That stuff I don't think is, like what you just said, isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No, but stick with me. I'm getting there.
Okay,
And
cool.
I don't even think that, like, clearly everything that's going on with Randy Pitchford since the microtransactions and everything that's happened Twitter is bad. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's part of that antiquated industry. And I think this is always the difference of what we get to do is make a video game in quotes. We get to make a product multiple times a day, put it out every day, get feedback on that product immediately, be in the moment. Whereas game developers, I think, go make a game for 7 years, 5 years, 2 years, put it out, and then get to see where the industry's changed, maybe it's passed them by. I feel like Randy still acts and talks and treats his public persona in the same way he would have in 2008 at GDC at the W talking to whoever. And that's the problem in terms of where we're at with professionalism, where Riot is a full-blown gigantic company, hundreds of employees, worldwide connections, one of the biggest games going, right? They are a full-blown company where professionalism means something, right? And I say this totally knowing they fucked up professionalism, and that's how they got themselves into this situation where the employees are walking out and doing all this stuff. The video game industry is still so young and growing up so fast and being put into situations that I don't think is prepared for or wasn't, and we don't know until we get there. Again, like you just said, Riot is the first walkout ever. Like every other industry's got. I mean, how many times did my dad work a picket line? You know what I mean? Granted, he was union and different things, but like we're talking about an industry that you can still be a person that, as I am, grew up pretty much playing from the beginning, right? You can talk about an industry where Randy, the sirens are on our end, Randy got involved incredibly early, got, being in charge of Gearbox and has not necessarily grown up with it because he hasn't had to. He's gone to the top of this thing and now he just owns or runs the company or whatever, right? And I don't think Gearbox has a board of directors or people overseeing it and yada, 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 in terms of like, people could be like, yo, dude, they're not publicly traded, right? You're not fucking sinking the stock price. You're not, who watches the Watchmen when you get there? Mm-hmm. And we get to this point where there's that thing of, I'm talking about Randy very specifically in this instance, right? Of like, there's that antiquated, cool, oh man, nobody owns them, blah, blah, blah. But then you see this, and again, it goes back to my favorite moment of the Borderlands 3 presentation when he brought up the entire team that worked on Borderlands 3, right? And it's most of the other Borderlands, he was saying, right? The Gearbox squad behind him. And it's like, fuck, dude, fuck. Like, you know what I mean? That's the thing is like, when the microtransactions shit started to get out of hand, I wish he had a partner like you and I are, like we are with anybody, kind of funny, but Nick or whatever, to be like, whoa, dude, I think you're off track. Let's talk about it and explain it. Let's not have it just publicly over and over and over and over again in public where it's all flipping the fuck out. Yeah. Like that's the thing. And like it's the same thing of like, if I'm going to go into it on Twitter or wherever with anybody, right, I have to understand that's going to reflect back on Andy. Is that going to make Andy excited to go make a party mode today or go out and do this stuff? No, like, you're representing more than just yourself. And but I do understand, as we've talked about, how complicated the internet is of like, you want to defend yourself, you want to do it. This ain't it, Chief, right? Like, this isn't the way to do this. The way that this has been handled is not the way to do any of this. And it's taking away from a great game.
Totally. And I get what you're saying about like, he's a product of a different time, but it's just like, that's not an excuse. I'm not saying you're saying 6 years. I know you're not.
To be clear, I'm not excusing this. I'm trying to make sense of how
of why he's acting the way he is.
The face of a company would act this way.
Absolutely. And I get that. It's just, but at the crux of this is he can't do that. It's like he did it before. That wasn't okay then either. He's just doing it now. And the way that this is all happening, the whole microtransaction thing, like the more I look into it, the more I'm just like, this is utterly ridiculous that he says no microtransactions and then flips the fuck out on the internet at journalists, at people, at friends, at whoever. And it's like, dude, you can't do that. It's not just when you can't do that when you run a company. It's like there's a level of, if you see something you don't like, you can't respond being like, fuck you.
Sure.
No matter what it is. It's not because it's not professional. It's just that's not helpful to any conversation.
Sure.
And when you are at the level he is, putting out a game like Borderlands 3 now, and it's on the internet as publicly as it is at this time, in this era, it's like, oh my God, you look like a complete complete moron that is representing your company, your game, an industry completely wrong. Yeah. And I don't have the solution to that, but it's like it needs to be pointed out and be like,
you already
this is
have
not
the solution.
okay.
You already have the solution. Someone in that inner circle needs to be like, hey, we need to sit down, talk, like put the phone down for a second. Let's have a conversation. Like, I understand you're mad. There's a way to vent that to people you trust and not go to the internet, right? Because I think that was the whole thing with the microtransaction thing where it all started. I really left turn, right? Never mind the lawsuit and all the shit before where it was like, it's clearly the lawyer that's been around forever and him are having a personal fight that's now spilled into a courtroom. Okay, fine. The microtransaction thing I felt like could be so simply solved. Instead of escalating the way it escalated, it's just been like, look, I hear you. I was thinking very much of how we did Borderlands.
Just admitting you're wrong is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but instead of the problem so many of us have, not all of us, so many of us have on the internet of planting your feet and like, no, I'm not backing down from my point. Mm-hmm. The cosmetics in Borderlands 2 and now Borderlands 3 are not microtransactions. It's like, well, no, they're not the definition you have for microtransaction. But again, the industry's come so far since the last time you talked about
that
how
they
you
are
do DLC.
By definition microtransactions. So it's like you can't do that. You can't get the same credit that Jedi Fallen Order gets because they mean it when they say it.
Yeah.
And so for you a month later to come out, it's tone deaf. It makes no sense that you can do that and then dig your heels in and fight and fight and fight. Correcting yourself, being like, I am sorry, shouldn't have said it that way. Here's what I mean.
Done. It would have been
solved.
over. No, we would not. This would still be happening, probably the claptrap part of it, but we wouldn't be like, oh, but he fixed that immediately and didn't go after Andy McNamara. Yeah. Didn't go after Game Informer and Interim. You're like, what?
And the problem with the inner circle thing that you're saying is that it like I don't know who the fuck Randy's inner circle is, but it sounds like he pushes his inner circle away. You know, with the David Eddings thing and with like other stories that we've heard, it's like that's. Again, not a solution. It's like, I don't know, like the Randy Pitchford situation in particular really like personally bothers me. There's something about it, just the way that he's been handling himself and all this, where it's just like, it just makes me feel like it's making us all look so bad that I'm like, you need to just fucking stop, dude.
Are you worried about it like getting outside of?
It's like, also, there's no worry necessary.
Making us all look bad. Like it's one of those, I don't worry about it making us all look bad because I think if anything, it has people like Kristina who are a fan be like, wait, what the fuck's going on? And everyone else being like, no, this is not how you handle the situation, right? Like this is not the right way to do this. And you would hope that again, as this continues to evolve, again, I'm sure. What is going to happen today? What is going to happen today? What is Randy not going to say anything? Is he gonna go? Is he gonna go say something nuts? I don't. Where are we gonna go? You would hope this entire situation, if somebody watches it from the outside, whether they're a developer, somebody else, or whatever, there's like, this is not how we handle ourselves in 2019. Yeah. And again, it's distracting from a game that I legitimately can't wait for now. A development team that came out there and was like, this is awesome. And that's the same thing David Eddings said on Twitter, right? Where he responded, it's now his pinned tweet, because somebody for Fallout or whatever said, quote tweeted the whole thread and was like, Gearbox is a shitty developer with shitty business practices. Sad. I hate that that's a thing now. And David Eddings responded, nah, man, Gearbox is full of amazingly talented game developers. It's not fair to blame the employees for the actions of one person. Be kind. They're the ones forced to cringe and bear it every time the boss shoots himself in the foot.
And that's it. Like, that's what I'm saying here is like when I say it makes us all look bad, it goes back to what I was saying on the show a couple weeks ago about how the hell does gamers have such a bad rap? How is being a gamer associated with such horrible fucking vile things?
Yeah.
When it's like, it should just be about people that like video games. That's a purely positive thing, yet somehow it is almost unanimously put with, negative bullshit and being an asshole. And I just hate that. I feel like it's things like this from people so high up that are so influential in what it means to run a video game company, be a part of this industry, and it reflects that side, not the other side.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. It's fair. While we're here, before we get out of it, I'll just give you a couple of your wrongs I have in here, or not even some of them are things. Spencer wanted to point out that I said David Eddings was offered twice his salary. It was twice the industry standard. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't mean to confuse that, but that's what I meant. Lord Opponent says Gearbox does have a board of directors. I don't know how that works. That's too businessy for us. I'm sure. So I don't know. That's the other thing is like. The other crazy thing about this entire situation is, remember, Gearbox makes the games and does this. Borderlands is owned by 2K. They're the ones publishing this game. So like, what's going on the 2K side of the coin of like, Is there anything in these contracts that say he has to do this or that or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, I know, which I'm sure, if I'm Randy, I probably got out of there. That's not you're wrong. Lord of Pwn, just some information for food for thought. This is it's the 20th anniversary of Gearbox, so there you go. In case you're wondering how long they've been around. Number 3 on the Roper Report: EA Access is coming to PlayStation 4. This is from Matthew Hadrahan over at GamesIndustry.biz. Electronic Arts Access subscription service will be available on PlayStation 4 from July this year. EA Access was first announced in 2014, but has only been available to users on Xbox One and PC. Speaking at the time, Sony stated that EA Access conflicted with its own subscription platform. This is 2014. Quote, PlayStation Plus memberships are up more than 200% since the launch of PlayStation 4, which shows that most gamers are looking for memberships that offer a multitude of services across various devices for one low price, Sony said. We don't think asking our fans to pay an additional $5 a month for this EA-specific program represents good value for the PlayStation gamer, end quote. That position has evidently softened over time, and EA Access will now launch on PlayStation 4 in July of this year. The service will cost $4.99 a month, with annual subscriptions available for $29.99. Quote, as we continue to invest in digital and subscription services, bringing our games to even more people across both next-generation consoles is an exciting opportunity for everyone, says Matt Blybe, EA's Executive Vice President of Strategic Growth, in a statement. Our goal is to give players more choice to try and play our games wherever and however they choose, and we're happy to bring those services to PlayStation 4. EA Access subscribers enjoy a number of benefits, including access to a library of the publisher's games and time-limited trials of forthcoming releases. What do you think, Tim?
I mean, I'm sure EA wanted it there from the beginning forever, and I'm sure they're really happy because why not? Having your service in as many places as possible only makes sense. PlayStation kind of easing up on this is interesting. I don't really understand why now.
Tommy Boy writes in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, with EA Access being brought to PlayStation, is this a softening of Sony's walled garden approach to their console? I think so. I think this is... I think they... I'll eventually get to what I think, because I just keep saying I think. Sorry. I've been saying for a while, right, that I think Microsoft's building this foundation, doing all these awesome programs, right? And I think PlayStation is not dumb, and they see that happening. So now they're like, let's start knocking out the little things so that we don't have this. How many times do we see it every time a special edition's released now, and they have the stupid spreadsheet with all the things checked in, and gamers get all mad about it? When you see Xbox 2, the next Xbox, and the PlayStation 5 compared to each other, PlayStation's going to want as few empty boxes on theirs as possible. So yeah, guess what? We've established that we're the number one console. We have this runaway success. PS Now is doing incredible. PlayStation Plus is doing incredible. Why not just get this in there and have options and parity for everybody?
Yeah.
Let's not have something that's stupid that we should have.
What a quote, though. We don't think asking our fans to pay an additional $5 a month for this EA-specific program represents good value to the PlayStation gamer. Shots fucking fired. It's like, hey, EA, step it up. Your games aren't good enough.
And that's the it's been, 5 years since that statement for the most part. There's more games on there. They've shown what EA Access actually is.
And so I think that is the positive spin it could have, where maybe Sony wasn't completely just being ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they were just like, hey, this isn't a good value. And like,
prove it.
Yeah, prove it. And they've proven it. And so now they're like, all right. Again, I feel like that's being very, like, giving them the thumbs up there.
But I mean, this example didn't work out well for most people. I remember when Anthem launched, it was an annoying thing of like, oh, fuck, like, all right, PC players get it early when they buy it on Origin. All right, you can play 10 hours on EA Access on Xbox, but if you're PlayStation, you had to wait. So, like, even that is just like, let's just make sure we're right there as a baseline with Xbox and services as much as we can be.
More options for people is always good for
Who doesn't like options, Barrett?
I know.
Man, you know what, Tim? I love options, and I can't wait to see all the options that'll soon be coming to the games I love. But I'll tell you what, the games I love are still so far away, with the exception of Division 2, but there's still options coming to Division 2, so it's one of those things I need to wait for. If I wanted something immediate like what's in the shops today, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform is listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah. We're having a hell of a show, if you didn't notice, everybody. 5 stars so far, so I want to put the ads here. Let's start with hymns. a wellness brand for men. You've heard us talking about Hims and how they're helping guys look their best. If you haven't yet, it's time to see what they're all about. 66% of men start to lose their hair by the age 35, and once you notice thinning hair, it can be too late. Enter forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness, and more for men. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Hims is helping guys be the best version of themselves with licensed physicians and FDA-approved products to help treat their hair loss. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. These are prescription solutions backed by science. No more awkward in-person doctor visits or long pharmacy lines. 4Hims connects you with real doctors online, which could save you hours and is completely confidential and discreet. Answer a few quick questions, a doctor will review, and if they determine it's right for you, they can prescribe you medication to treat hair loss that is shipped directly to your door. How do I know so much about it? Well, of course, ladies and gentlemen, because Andy Cortez and Nick Scarpino use forhims.com. Andy just got a shipment yesterday, which I walked up and gave to him because I'm a nice coworker. You know what I mean? I'm not like Nick who steals the gummies. Order now. My listeners can get started with the Hims Complete Hair Kit for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last, and subject to a doctor's approval. See the website for full details and safety information. This could cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or pharmacy somewhere else. Go to forhims.com/gamesdaily. That's FORHIMS.com/gamesdaily. Forhims.com/gamesdaily. Our other sponsor, 23andMe. With 23andMe's Health and Ancestry Service Kit, you can explore 125 personalized genetic reports that may reveal the link between your DNA, your health, traits, and more, including your chances of developing certain diseases. 23andMe recently released their newest health report on type 2 diabetes, which tells you your genetic likelihood for developing the disease and gives you personalized results and tools that can help with prevention. Diabetes is a growing public health challenge here in the States. 1 in 3 adults in the U.S. has prediabetes, but 90% of those with prediabetes don't know they have it. Type 2 diabetes is influenced by genetics. It's not just lifestyle and weight. Type 2 diabetes is a condition that typically develops as we get older and is caused by many factors, including diet, lack of proper exercise, weight gain, and our genes. Order your 23andMe Health and Ancestry Service Kit at 23andme.com/games. That's the number 23andme.com/games. Again, that's 23andme.com/games. I tell you what, there's a lot of stuff out today. Today out.
God damn it.
Brief battles on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. It's that second iced coffee. That's what it is, man.
We're not even drinking it.
Yeah. Why? You've already heard that. Like when I read the news, if I drink the coffee, I get all tongue tied. Questions? No problem. I can drink coffee. I can talk to you all day. Puyo Puyo Champions on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Right. My Big Sister on PS4, Vita, and Xbox One. Barrett, I already see you fucking moving. I love you.
Did you get brief battles? I feel like you missed that.
No, I said
you did?
brief battles.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Andy, I saw Slack during this. I don't know what to play during party mode. It's funny because I keep sending him fucking games that I say this would be a good party mode, like brief battles, and he ignores everything I send him because he's a son of a bee. Anyways, My Big Sister, PlayStation 4, Vita, It Lives, and Xbox One. Barrett's showing us the trailer, a unique pixel art horror adventure story. I already don't care. I thought it was gonna be a dumb, easy platinum. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's the same dream. Anyways, Shakedown Hawaii comes to PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, It Lives, Switch, and PC. European Conqueror X comes to Switch. Reverse Crawl comes to PlayStation 4. Frayne Dragon's Odyssey comes to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. Motherfucker, the Vita games keep coming today. For the King comes to PlayStation 4. Car Mechanic Manager comes to Switch. Can I see the trailer for Car Mechanic Manager on Switch, please? Grind Zones comes to PC. Two Guns comes to PC. Thunder Paw comes to PC. Immortal? Oh, I bet I left off the I. Immortal Unchained Stormbreaker expansion surges onto PS4, Xbox One, and PC today. Car Mechanic Manager, here we go. 8 types of cars. Okay. Look at you, put it in there, you work on this thing.
Look at how many fucking colors are in this game.
Good for you, Car Mechanic Manager.
Horrible.
It's definitely someone's like first game.
This is a mobile game.
Yeah, it's definitely a mobile game that's come to Switch. PS Now is getting a bunch of games today.
Hell yeah.
Here's what comes, all right? 8-Bit Armies, PlayStation 4. Batman Arkham Knight, PlayStation 4.
Oh.
You're back on the Arkham train, right?
Yes.
So now, did you end up platinuming City? Or
I'm not platinuming, I'm just like going through them.
Okay.
I did the Riddler, I captured the Riddler for the first time since I played it when it originally launched. So right now I'm doing Origins through PlayStation Now. It's my first time using PlayStation
Tell me
Now.
about it, please. No one ever uses PlayStation Now.
Yeah, it's like I used it like once for like a week 4 years ago, and for some reason I got another free trial for this week. It's way more organized this time around. It's like easier to find shit.
Yeah.
And I haven't tried. I want to try like downloading stuff and see how that like.
Oh, you're streaming it.
Yeah. So PS3 games you can only stream. And
Oh,
so
really? Oh, that's right. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. My
So
apologies.
you can only stream Origins, and it's a tough one to really gauge if the stream is bad or if it's just the game, because Origins did have a lot of problems with.
Yeah,
like,
this is my interesting. I reviewed Origins, right, and I've always talked, and I don't remember it beyond I love the Deathstroke battle and stuff, but
Yeah.
my main takeaway from Origins, I think I scored it lower than the other ones.
You gave it a 7.8.
All right, so but I was still like, it was good, obviously.
Yeah.
It was good, right? But your tweet seemed real negative last night.
The story I think is still like, I think it's, if not the best one of the best two.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's really rough around the edges. The again, I can't tell if the frame rate's because of PS Now or the game itself, but yeah, like the textures are really like way lower quality than City
Yeah,
and
streaming, I don't know.
Origins.
That's a weird one to enter into, right? Of like what is actually.
But I
like-
do remember when it launched. Just
Oh,
playing
yeah, it
on
had
the
problems, for
3D,
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to tell like what's the game and what's
right.
the app.
Brawl Out is so these are still PlayStation Now games that are added today. Brawl Out on PlayStation 4, Dangerous Golf on PlayStation 4, Lego Ninjago movie video game PlayStation 4, Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom PlayStation 3, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance Ultimate Edition on PlayStation 3, Miko Gackout Monogatari Kadio episode PlayStation 4, Sherlock Holmes The Devil's Daughter on PlayStation 4, and then Tales for Zestiria PS4 upgrade. Then also today, Fallout 76 is getting a Wild Appalachia patch number 9. What does he get? Backpacks, that's cool. Personal vending machines, you can sell your wares for your fellow dwellers by building your own vending machine. Advertise your location on the map by powering it up. That's a very cool thing, because people were like, what do I do with all the stuff I have? You got legendary exchange machines, new camp stuff. You can read all about it if you're still playing Fallout 76. New dates for you. Bone Crushers multiplayer roguelike game is leaving early access on March 15th. Swag and Sorcery is coming to Steam this Thursday.
What the fuck is swag and sorcery?
It's Swag and the press release headline is Swag and Sorcery fashionably arrives on Steam this Thursday. So they definitely got something going on.
Are you tired of working hard and plowing fields from dawn till dusk?
Yeah.
Look at them all saying yes.
No, I'm a cat. Have you had enough? Then become one of our respected heroes. Beat monsters.
Where's the swag?
destroy evil,
It's coming.
Earn gold.
I don't need the cat voice.
Collect resources during your crusades to fix your shack. Create and equip cool items.
All right, no, there's no swag here. There's no swag. Sorry, buddy.
Skip forward.
Oh, meow. What?
Oh, there's the swag.
Meet beautiful
you just missed
ladies
it.
from far away.
All right. Dead Cells is coming to iPhone and iPad this summer.
That's-
Huh?
That does not sound like a good time at all. Oh my god, that game would be so hard to play with touch controls.
Hey, man. Whatever. Wartech Fighters comes in Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One on June 27, 2019. Kerbal Space Program Breaking Ground, its DLC, will be available, or an update, on PC May 30th. And then Train Tycoon, Railroad Corporation. Train Tycoon strategy game Railroad Corporation is going to be released on early access May 27th.
What a day.
Tim, I'm going to hit you with some reader mail. You ready?
Please do.
Cam McCulloch-Keeble writes into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, with E3 being a different beast this year, do you think shows akin to the PC Gaming Show and Devolver Digital Show will have more impact on the stories that come out of the convention because they won't be competing with the main 3 first parties as heavily? Tim, you're a student of the E3 game.
Yeah.
What do you think about the smaller things like maybe the Kind of Funny Game Showcase?
I don't think it's really gonna affect anything. I feel like it's just, people are interested in the big ones, right? They're going to be there because I think back to when I was not in the industry, just watching from home, and how excited I'd be about E3. I would watch PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, Ubisoft, Square whenever they would do theirs, Konami back when they did theirs, and EA, right? Anything in between, I'd be like, I'm going to sleep. Or I'm going to go get food now.
Sure.
It's like, it would kind of be my break from all the big ones. There being less now, I feel kind of almost doesn't matter. It still just feels like, now I'm going to watch less. And I guess it's different now because we cover them. So it's more a question of like, which ones are we going to do live reactions to? And it's like, we're not going to do live reaction to the PC Gamer one. You know, even though we have less other shit to cover, I still don't think the quality of things being shown is going to change. I guess that's really what it comes down to.
Is it quality or is it even hype? Because PC games, they'll have good PC games. Devolver is always interesting, and they do the crazy thing, but their games are good. Well, the Kind of Funny Games Showcase is going to have a lot of great indies, but I think it's more like headline grabbing, right? It's so much.
Yeah.
E3 is about I didn't see that coming. What, they're making this new game? Oh my god! And even like to Cam's question. Again, we're just really losing in terms of the conferences. PlayStation. Now, granted, PlayStation. No. Stick with me.
We are.
Let's stick with me. PlayStation, you lose all those announcements and the first party stuff up there, right? So, but that's Monday night. EA, yeah, you lose the pomp and circumstance. If they come out and they're like, here's the first 10 minutes of Jedi, whatever, Fallen Order, it's still going to be IGN's homepage is like the 15 things you missed. And here's the thing. And what about when he said this? And yeah, like, it's still going to eat up all that shit.
There's a difference between showing games off and having a conference. The conference is giving a format that, okay, we know Jedi Fallen Order is going to be there, but Skate 4 might be right around the corner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like there's always the chance. And with EA, it's not likely. You know, we're often disappointed.
What an easy win.
But
why not fucking Road Rash and Skate 4 and we'd all be like, you know what, it's forgiven.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Everything's forgiven. But I feel like every once in a while there is a genuine surprise from EA where you're like, oh shit, like A Way Out. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like that happening. It's like, oh, this looks cool. Or it's not called Yarny. Unraveled. Like things like that. It's like without a conference, you don't get those moments. Like it's a totally different experience. It's not that there's not news coming out of it, but a press conference means something, and it means
you want that hype.
It's hype. It's surprises. It's I don't know. It kind of gives gravitas to these games that otherwise are just a headline you see on a blog roll somewhere.
Okay. Tim?
Yeah.
It's time to squad up, and this is one of a different color. Of course, normally on Squad Up, you write into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. You give me your name, username, platform of choice, and why you need help in a video game. I read it here. The best friends come and find you, and everybody plays games together. However, it's a bit different today. Krajookee writes in and says, can we all squad up today, May 7th, and wish a happy birthday to SnowBikeMike, a paragon of the Kind of Funny best friends? His stream is an awesome spot for KFBFs to chill and get to know one another. Why, of course, we love SnowBikeMike. Yeah. Of course, he was our shot caller introer for Kind of Funny Prom. He, of course, is part of Greg Miller Industries. He's been in here. He's hosted this very show, Kind of Funny Games Daily.
He has.
Him and Cheeks Jr. Rest in peace, Cheeks.
R.I.P.
Yeah, future-proofing. It's future-proofing.
Okay.
Just in case.
Just in case. We never know when Cheeks is going to pass.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Happy
We
birthday,
love you.
SnowBikeMike. Everybody hit up SnowBikeMike. You can find him everywhere. Go do his Twitch stream. Find him on the internet.
Pug life, baby.
Pug Life, yeah. He makes good shirts. I want that Splash Sister
Dude,
shirt.
the Nerf Alice one? Yeah. It looks amazing.
Tim?
Yes.
We ask people watching live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames to go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screwed up as we screwed up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, and listening on podcast services around the globe. Lord of Pone points out that the SAG-AFTRA picket lines occurred at EA, WB, and Insomniac. Thank you very much for clarifying. Nanobiologist says a board of directors is usually associated with a publicly traded company to weigh opinions of the stockholders and the heads of the company to keep stock in the company valuable. I don't have an answer for that one. Game Jumper X says clarification needed. Is EA Access one fee for both Xbox and PlayStation, or are there going to be separate subscription fees?
I'm sure
I would imagine separate subscriptions. Maybe not, though.
Because, is Xbox and PC, it's one thing, right?
I'm not sure on that one, actually. That's a great question. I didn't see anybody talking about that in their articles today. Somebody get to the bottom of that. If you can, you're wrong me before we get out of the show, I'll let you know. Here we go. Tommy Boy gets it. Says, missed out today. Descenders is out today on Xbox One and is available with Xbox Game Pass. New dates from Dust and Custom Quest added to Xbox backwards compatibility program. Thank you. Nanobiologist says separate subscriptions.
Cool.
I assume that's the real nanobiologist. We can trust him. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday on a variety of platforms. We run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show. Patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Watch live. Twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. Watch later. YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames. Roosterteeth.com. Podcast services around the globe. Tomorrow, Fran Mirabella III is joining me to talk to you on a lovely Widow Wednesday. But until then, it's been our pleasure to serve you.